Hello everyone, we are from Group 4. Today we are going to make a discussion about epistemology. We'll divide our discussion into five parts. First one is to learn what is epistemology, which is on the core issue of epistemology. Then we'll talk about epistemological schools of thought and the types of knowledge which are related to epistemology. In final, we'll state reliability and verification of knowledge and the challenge of modern epistemology.
Okay, the first one is what is epistemology? Epistemology is a branch of philosophy that studies what knowledge is, how we come to know things, and what can we know. In simple terms, it explores the questions how do we know that what we know is true and what can we actually know? The definition of knowledge. In tradition, knowledge is something you believe is true, and there are good reasons to prove it's true. In other words, knowledge is not just what you think is right, it also needs to be true and supported by evidence or reasons for your belief. In modern, although the justified true belief, zero is the classic definition. Philosopher Edmund Gelter raised a challenge in 1963, known as the Gelter problem, arguing that even if a belief is true and justified, it may not necessarily count as knowledge.
2. School of thoughts. In the long process of the development of human epistemology, it has also derived many schools of thoughts. The ones I know are as follows. The first is empiricism. They believe that all knowledge comes from people's sensory experience and observation, and the knowledge obtained from experience is the basis of the knowledge. The second is rationalism. Rationalism believes that some knowledge is innate and can only be obtained through rational reasoning. The next is skepticism. They advocate a skeptical attitude towards knowledge and truth. Because of humans' limitations, the knowledge obtained cannot be completely determined, and it cannot be determined that the knowledge we obtain is necessarily reliable. The view of skepticism is often used in the fields of science and philosophy to examine the questions and assumptions. The last is dogmatism. It believes that the verification of knowledge acquisitions comes from fixed dogmas and principles, and ideas and conclusions that contradict them are wrong and unacceptable. Dogmatism has a relatively fixed and absolute view of knowledge rejects doubt, and if a truth that being recognized and is questioned, it will be considered wrong. Apart from all of this, there are still many different schools of thoughts in epistemology. Their thoughts are mixed or different, but together they constitute epistemology, and also enable us to obtain knowledge from different perspectives.
I will describe their difference in detail. Rationalism is opposite to empiricism. Rationalism holds that the primary source of knowledge is reason and logic, while empiricism holds that the source of knowledge is sensory experience. Rationalism believes that human beings can give knowledge independent of experience through logical reasoning, and they worship a priori ideas. Empiricism, on the other hand, rejects this view, arguing that knowledge is acquired through experience. The opposition between skepticism and primordialism in epistemology, skepticism holds that human knowledge is limited, questioning its sources, reliability, and even the possibility of knowledge itself. And it emphasizes critical examination of knowledge. Pragmatism is concerned with the practical effects and applied value of knowledge, believing that the standard of truth lies in whether it is valid or useful in practice. But they also complement each other to some extent. Communication theory holds that truth is a correspondence. Coherence theory holds that truth is the logical consistency between beliefs or propositions. But in practice, communication theory and coherence theory can be used in complementary ways. For example, scientific research is often based on communication thorough, but at the same time requires the thorough to be internally consistent, that is coherent.
Okay, that's part four, the types of knowledge. Philosophical epistemology explores different types of knowledge. Their expression, must, and reflection approach. Below is a detailed explanation and supplement to each type. Empirical knowledge, original knowledge, intuitive knowledge, revelatory knowledge. Next part, interaction between types of knowledge. In real life applications and academic research, these types of knowledge often overlap. For instance, such fact research may combine empirical knowledge, experimental data, and rational knowledge, theoretical modeling, where creative artistic expression may integrate intuitive and empirical knowledge. Understanding these types of knowledge help us learn, explore, and innovate more effectively in different.
This part is about the challenge of modern epistemology. Modern epistemology is a philosophical field that studies of nature, science, and the boundary of knowledge. However, with the rapid development of science and technology and the profound change of society, the traditional epistemological framework has been challenged in many aspects, which not only reflect the impact of emerging technology and globalization, but also profoundly affect the understanding and definition of human knowledge. The challenge of modern epistemology reflects the new demands of technological progress and social change on knowledge research. From artificial intelligence to virtual reality, from cultural diversity to global delight. Every challenge calls on us to rethink the definitions, standards, and the boundaries of knowledge. The request is not only philosophical reflection, but also interdisciplinary cooperation to build a more inclusive, dynamic, and adaptable knowledge system.
And for the conclusion, epistemology is a branch of philosophy. It explores the nature, origin, and validation of knowledge. It seeks to answer fundamental questions: what knowledge is, where it comes from, and how its reliability can be proven. Traditional definitions view knowledge as justified true belief, though challenged by the Gettier problem. Major schools include empiricism, which emphasizes sensory experience, and rationalism, which focuses on innate ideas and logic. Skepticism questions the certainty of knowledge, while constructivism sees it as socially constructed. Modern challenges like artificial intelligence and virtual reality push epistemology to address new dimensions of understanding and truth in a rapidly evolving world. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.